Your neck seems, how do I put this politely, thick-skinned. One bite into that, and there goes my fangs that I definitely did not just have resharpened last Tuesday. So I'll pass. Consider yourself lucky. So polite of you to let me into your house. As you know, a vampire can only come into a home if they're invited. And trust me, vampires never pay rent. Did you know Dracula actually changed his first name from Barry to Count just to make everyone think he was one? It's true, he did. And now I'm thinking about changing my first name to Doctor, just so I can get free blood samples and never have to hunt again. If there is one thing I'm more afraid of than wooden stakes, it's bats. Yes, you heard me. I'm a vampire who's frightened by bats. You should see my frequent flyer miles, though. I once drank the blood of someone who guzzled down one too many energy drinks. And wow, let me tell you, I'm addicted. When Halloween comes, take my advice and don't go out as one of us. Because vampire hunters aren't the brightest, and they can never tell the difference. Why are you looking at me like that? No, I didn't just get my fangs resharpened. What put that idea in your head? Cosmetic surgery is for old people. I'm only 500. I have a long time before I stoop that low. You know the tale of Dracula? Well, it's my story. That thief just hypnotized Bram Stoker to change my name into his, and now he's everywhere. Meanwhile, I'm stuck lugging my coffin around Transylvania because I'm too scared of bats to fly around as one. I'm very picky when it comes to drinking blood. Humans are so unhealthy now that I resorted to lab-grown blood. But does it taste like the real thing? Sure, if the real thing tasted like werewolf's breath. I love solar eclipses. They're the only time I can walk around during the day and live to tell about it. Dracula is not at all like how he's portrayed in the movies. For one, he eats like a pig, and two, he hasn't aired out his coffin in centuries. Trust me, garlic smells better than that. My old coffin was a handcrafted work of timeless beauty, until it got held up in customs and was detonated by a bomb squad, with me in it. Take my advice and never fly into New Jersey. You may have seen a vampire or two walking down your street, but you've never seen one quite like me. For starters, my cape isn't a cheap plastic bag, and my fangs aren't made out of plastic. Halloween is every day for me, my darling. I turned Shakespeare into a vampire. Are you impressed by that? Well, you should be. He's working on Broadway now, thanks to me. I also turned Napoleon into a vampire, but he ran out into the sunlight when he heard the ice cream truck, and that was the end of that. You know, vampires aren't so different from you humans. We make mistakes too. Well, except me, of course. The only mistake I ever made was sleeping in for my audition for Nosferatu back in 1922. And I'm still kicking myself for it ever since. Vampires once ruled your world. But when the humans realized we hide from the sun for 12 hours, it was too late. If only we had invented the window shade sooner. Gah, any vampire who chooses to get a skin glitter job is beneath me. What do you think you are, a gemstone? No self-respecting monster would ever choose to sparkle. You're getting very sleepy. You're slowly becoming under my control. Now give me your credit card number or the password to all your streaming services. Not to brag or anything, but daylight savings time was my idea. Convincing everyone to turn their clocks back 1 hour because the sun goes down at 4 p.m.? Early to bed, early to rise, baby. Victor Frankenstein and I made a bet back in the day over who'd win in a fight, me or his monster. The winner would get a new bridesmaid for them, and the loser had to pay for the wedding. Now, I won fair and square. But, side note, do you have $50 I can borrow? One time I was visiting some mummies in Egypt. They told me being mummified is a good alternative for sleeping in a coffin. Yeah, right. Who wants to roll themselves up in toilet paper every night before going to bed? I cannot cross running water. It's just one of those things that vampires cannot do. We also can't go skydiving or pay bills over the phone. Life can be so unfair to us too sometimes. It drives me up the wall when you humans call us vampires the undead. Zombies are undead. Do I look like I eat brains to you? No. We're a civilized group of monsters. We just drink the blood of the living. Do I have something in my fangs? I'd look in the mirror, but, well, you know how that's gonna go. You won't believe this. I found my new coffin at the thrift store. Apparently whoever was using it before wasn't actually deceased, and now he's suing his new ex-wife. Mosquitoes are the lowest form of vampires there are. It's like, leave some for the rest of us. Trust me, you won't be hurting my feelings when you smack them off your skin.
Hey, what's up? I'm Janet. I'm a Virgo, a foodie. I love to travel. I'm big into social media. I'm a zombie. I love hashtags. And if you want to date me but don't have the newest smartphone to text me on, then I won't be caught dead with you because I already am. Eating brains to survive? There's a vegan alternative to that, right? I'm actually wearing a lot of designer perfume right now. You just can't really tell because I'm a rotting corpse. So how did I end up a zombie? Well, I was bit by one when I was walking and live streaming and not paying attention. But when you live that influencer life, you don't have time to hit pause. But I did lose a lot of followers because of it, and that's worse. Ugh, I am so sick of the zombie stereotypes and how Hollywood has us all wrong. We're people too, you know? Just deader. And cannibalistic. Actually, never mind. I think Hollywood finally got something right for once. I don't get why people say I'm in denial over slowly rotting away. So what if my pinky toe fell off? And whatever, 4 fingers are better than 3 anyways. I'm fine, I'm young, and I'm beautiful. Just let me slap on a filter after you take a photo of me, though. So, not that it was really my fault, but I accidentally turned my boyfriend into a zombie too when I bit him instead of kissing him. It's cool though, we're still friends. Hey, can you become my social media manager? I just can't really hashtag anymore because I'm afraid my fingers will snap off at any second, and I need someone to do it for my 23 followers. Man, scoring brains is so hard to do. You'd be surprised by how many people get upset when you try to fight them. It's like, how much ruder can you possibly get? My family is so understanding of my little undead situation. They even set up a space for me up in the attic to hang out in whenever the rest of the fam comes over. And I don't think it has anything to do with when I tried to eat grandma on Halloween. It's crazy. I went from having fashion companies be the sponsors on my videos to medical professionals and funeral homes. I wonder why. Brains, brains, brains is the new live, laugh, love. Hey, I heard the zombie apocalypse is trending on social media, and on the news, and on the streets. It's a global movement. always had my grandpa's teeth, both when he was alive and dead. I saw the sweetest thing. A little girl's aunt rose up from the dead, but then the kid ran away screaming and crying. You ungrateful little brat. She came back from the grave for you, and you run away in terror? I know people like to associate malls with zombies, but let's be honest. With that 2-day shipping from online stores, I think the mall is the safest place to be right now, even for me. Being a zombie isn't too bad. You just gotta make the best with the hand you were dealt, even if you want to eat it. I got a new job as the mascot for the local mortician. They said out of all the applicants, I was the one that fit the part perfectly. And I think I know why. It's because I know how to really sell myself. People are saying Halloween's gonna be real confusing this year because everyone won't be able to tell who's in a costume and who's actually a zombie. Well, silly, have you ever seen a zombie crave chocolates and bubblegum? Precisely. Problem solved. Great. I forgot my perfume. Hey, if you have any lying around, let me borrow it? No, it's not to mask the scent of rotting flesh. Again, you see my face, hence my skin is still here. I just have a date later with a blind boy, and I want to leave a good first impression. So apparently, this whole living dead thing comes from a virus that was accidentally released from a military laboratory out in Nevada somewhere, which I guess that means whatever happens in Vegas no longer stays there. Hashtag me when they come out with a brain-spiced latte. I don't get what everyone is panicking about. So a graveyard is the last place you want to be during a zombie apocalypse? Hello? Have you ever tried digging yourself out after being buried 6 feet under? Yeah, exactly. I think you're gonna be just fine there. If you become a zombie, take it from me and don't even waste your time at the local food bank. All they got there are fruits and vegetables. You want brains? Go to the morgue. Living dead. What an offensive oxymoron. Do I seem dead to you at all? My parents are so proud of me. I was patient 0. Shockingly, brains aren't high in carbs, so I don't get why the living in general just don't eat them. Pretty soon, everyone is going to turn into a zombie, and before you know it, come Halloween, kids are going to be trick-or-treating dressed up as humans instead of us. My daily routine consists of live streaming to my followers, eating brains, taking selfies, more brains, staring at my phone for 17 hours and waiting for likes, swiping right, scarfing down more brains, and liking everyone's comments on my posts. It's very hard.
As people escalate their level of threats, the likelihood of them following through becomes much higher.
Taking somebody out of there without knowing Montgomery's location.
I think becoming a zombie is the greatest thing to ever happen to me. Sure, your skin turns green and suddenly you're a cannibal, but it has its upsides, like never getting sick ever again because you're technically already dead. Now that's a win-win to me.
Not to brag, but with my help, my clients have terrorized thousands of humans all over the world. It brings a tear to my eye. Or it would if I had eyes. Hey, buddy. I'm Ed. Want to guess my last name? Here's a hint. Starts with S and ends with skeleton. I'm just a regular bag of bones trying to get my kicks without losing a foot. Me? I'm in the haunted house game. The haunted housing market is so hot right now, I'm making a killing. I'd say it's a good living, but I can't. I'm dead. My wife loves that one. Before you ask, yes, there are jobs after death in the great hereafter. So much for that eternal rest, huh? Mrs. Skeleton's around here somewhere. Mary! Mary, where's my good set of phalanges? It's a good thing death didn't do us part, or I'd lose my head. I'm a simple guy who likes the wind in my ribs and the sun warming the hollow cavern of my skull where they tell me my brain used to be. One good thing about this whole afterlife thing is, well, it's afterlife. I mean, look at me. Like I'm gonna starve to death. Walking is dangerous when your body's made up of bones stacked on top of each other and held together by humidity and magic. I'm a fall risk. I got a whole trunk of spare parts at home just in case. Not like anyone was using them anymore. Last time I fell, I was showing an abandoned farmhouse to a perfectly hideous couple from Sioux Falls when, oh, I'm going down. Bones went everywhere. The client was almost a victim of a flying humerus. Luckily, it went right over her head. Skeleton Key Realty. A haunt for every house and a house for every haunt. From classic fixer-upper farmhouses occupied by dysfunctional families to newer homes built over ancient burial grounds. We got what you're looking for. I tend to stay away from newer homes that have homeowners associations running them. That's scary enough for the living as it is. Has an amateur ghost hunter disturbed your mortal remains? Are you facing eviction from your longtime haunted home? You're not alone. Join our support group for amateur ghost hunter victims, because everyone deserves a second chance at death. I may not have a brain, but I'm no mummy. Today everyone loves dancing skeletons, but tomorrow they're head over heels for Frankenstein's monster. There's no skin off my nose. I always, well, usually, sometimes land on my feet. Juggling's my favorite party stick. I pull off my head, add a couple of ball joints, and bada bing. Instant entertainment. That's how I learned the hard way that werewolves love to play fetch. I met Dracula while he was putting himself through acting school by moonlighting as a dentist. Say what you will about their acting, but nobody knows teeth like a vamp. My brother Ted and me, we look just alike. Even my ghost wife Mary has a hard time telling us apart. Ghosts aren't known for their eyesight either. Makes me feel a little bit better about the time I tried to kiss a bedsheet. I'll never forget the summer I played lead trombone with the Dead. Bigfoot was on drums. You'd have to see it to believe it. I've been a deadhead, a parrot head, a bonehead, and a deadbeat. Ain't got a mean bone in my body or a bone to pick with nobody. I am a bit of a jabberjaw, so I hope you don't mind me chewing your ear. I still occasionally experience phantom body syndrome, even after all these years. The only human thing I still crave is a nice tall glass of milk. Have you ever seen a skeleton try to drink a glass of milk, though? Yeah, not pretty. What good is it to say I gotta drink milk for my bones if I can't even guzzle it down? My favorite day of the year is Halloween. Not because there are so many people trying to look like me, but because no one but me can pull it off. Can you pull off your head and use it as a beach ball? I didn't think so. I saw 5 dogs today while on my daily neighborhood shuffle. Not gonna lie, they're adorable with their little ears, and I wish I could pet them, but nope. Lest we forget the dog park incident of 2014. My family comes to my haunted house every Halloween, and every Halloween my dad gives me a hand in the kitchen. I have more hands than I know what to do with. They say bubblegum takes 7 years to digest. What? Every time I swallow it, it lands by my feet in 7 milliseconds. My flesh and blood haven't been flesh or blood for so long, they forgot that they were flesh and blood to begin with. Halloween costumes aren't just for people, you know. I always dress up like a human for Halloween, and I say things like, I'm hungry, or I'm tired, or I'm putting my entire life savings into this penny stock. You know, people stuff. My ghost wife, Mary, is a bit older than me. She was wiped out by the plague back in, I don't know, before they invented medicine, I can tell you that. I always had a thing for the older ladies, especially the ones that are 600 years older than me.